So the next speaker will be Mr. Ricky Oh. He's the Chief Product Officer from PingAn Group. HaiYing began researching electronic computer content in the early 1990s. He received undergraduate student awards from the National Science and Engineering Research Council of Canada and a bachelor degree in electrical engineering from the University of British Columbia to discuss computer market development and business. O received an MBA from Carnegie Mellon University in 1999. Mr. Ricky O.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be here to talk about kind of the cross-border trade and how the technology today can play a hand in promoting the cross-border trade. All right, let me get started with a quick intro of PingAn. I think a lot of people may have heard of PingAn because it's an enormous, big insurance company. And indeed it is. It's now ranked number 29 in the Global 500 list. In fact, in 2008, when they assessed the financial crisis, the only company name in China that cannot be failed is PingAn. Okay. Now, but I'm not here to talk about insurance, so let's talk about technology. So PingAn Tech is actually the kind of the core arm of PingAn. We have 8,000 people, believe it or not, all about technologists. Why do we need 8,000 people for insurance company? Many people would ask. It's because it's technology. 30 years ago, PingAn started with a blank piece of paper, literally going from a zero asset into now number 29 in the Global 500 list. Along the way, we fought every step of the way with our technology. So gaining market share, fighting off our competition, and the technology actually plays a very critical portion in that history. So today, what we classify our technology as ABCD, as 4 pillars of our key technology. A is being AI. Our facial recognition is ranked, the accuracy is 99.8, was one of the best in the world. And also we have voice authentication and why not. So basically, from a cognitive point of view, we are absolutely one of the best in terms of recognizing who you are by just telling your face and hear your voice. And second, which I will get into it a little bit later, is the blockchain. And blockchain, I think every one of you heard about Bitcoin, right? It's become a phenomenon. I'll go into that a little bit to talk about how that would apply to the trade finance platform. C is cloud, and I don't need to get into any more on the cloud itself because it's pretty much everything is on cloud this day. And last but not least is D, is the data. Everything cannot go without the big data in terms of supporting, in terms of the decision making, the training, and why not. So across these 4 pillars, this is kind of counts to the technology platform and the foundation for the PingAn technology. Now, we all heard about cloud, and obviously since AWS launched kind of the cloud business about 15 years ago, and now it's becoming a household name for being on cloud. But actually, if you peel off the onion a little bit, you will find out a lot of the traditional industry still lagging behind in terms of getting onto the cloud. And part of that is because kind of the technology itself and how does the technology related to the core application in that. So what we're talking about today is in terms of finance, healthcare, and those traditional, but probably the most important industry, they're still lacking behind in terms of getting onto the cloud. Now, so what makes PingAn Cloud so special? You say, right? Because we have, in worldwide, we have AWS, Microsoft, and Google, and in China, we have Ali Cloud, Tencent Cloud, and why not? So why is PingAn Cloud? PingAn Cloud is very particular because PingAn is a financial industry overall. When you are a all-licensed financial institute in China, you are being monitored and scrutinized by every one of the regulators. As such, That means everything that you do is of helping into a higher standard in terms of A, the data security, B, the reliability, and C, most important, is the professionalism within this group. Now, why I picked these three? Because obviously when you deal with a financial transaction, your data security is probably paramount in terms of your consideration. But then the other thing is about reliability. I think most of you may hear the news is that XYZ cloud company got shut down because one of the fiber got cut off. Yeah, if you are an internet company, if your site is down for a couple of hours, you may just lose the business. But in China, if you're a financial institute, if you're out of business for 2 hours, you may get your license revoked. So as such, the reliability is absolutely one of the most critical aspects in terms of handling. And for the past 5 years, PingAn Cloud has been kind of the top player in terms of the financial industry in providing service to over 150 financial institutes across. Right? And then not only that we are well known within the industry, all the IP has been internal developed by PingAn as whole for that. And across the board, as I mentioned earlier, our cloud application reach all the way into the application across the full spectrum of financial industry in terms of insurance, banking, security, and finance. So we are not only providing the foundation, but we are actually providing the actual capability within the SaaS in terms of the core banking system, the core insurance systems, and security system, all the way from the bottom to the top across the whole stack. Right. And then now I switch gear to talk about blockchain. So I mentioned earlier, blockchain now I think everybody knows about, and what is the kind of the advantages of using blockchain over internet? A is about, again, going back to the data security. How individual node and individual company and customer itself, you can actually manage your own data. I think started about 20 years ago when the internet phenomenon in China, earlier we mentioned there's about 900 million plus internet user, and as such, a lot of your data is on the internet. Like Facebook, for example, I mean, they has pretty much they know more about you than yourself sometimes, depending on how your memory is holding up. But on the other hand, do you really trust them to manage your data? That's the key. And even as big as a company like Facebook, they fail, right? They literally allow third party, to access your personal data and for whatever objective that you're gaining. And blockchain can change that. So blockchain, for one, they can treat every individual as a node. And then within the node, you can manage your data. So you can literally manage who can access your data and who cannot. So we are in multiple systems working with several branch companies like the Social Security Bureau in China. Now is using our facial recognition to verify the identity, but more importantly, is using blockchain to protect their individual identity and access data for that, right? Now, PingAn, we have been one of the pioneers in terms of using the blockchain technology across the board. Why is blockchain? I mentioned earlier, is really about A, is the security, and secondly, is about data sharing in the right way, right? In a world of e-commerce today, you are involving many different entities, different parties, banks, traders, custom, government. They all need to access a certain piece of data. And blockchain kind of is a platform to facilitate that, to allow data to transfer from one entity to the other entity, obviously with your permission only. But with that, then you can easily to break down the kind of the barrier between the agency and the institution wall. So let the data to freely flow, A, in a managed way, and B, in a very secure way. And in PingAn, we have already done that across many different scenarios so that the blockchain technology can use across the different vertical in that. Now, so why is cloud plus blockchain can help in terms of a trade finance world? So cloud, really what it does is providing a sound, solid foundation, to support all the systems on top and beyond. And blockchain plays the kind of the linchpin role in terms of getting to the core of what you need, which is the data. How do you share data in a managed and a secure way, right? And the combination of cloud and blockchain really lay down the core foundation for the e-commerce in a trusted and secure way. Now, I give a few examples. The first example is actually kind of interesting. It's diamond. We are working with one of the largest diamond company in the world in terms of using blockchain to trace the diamond itself. So everyone knows diamond worth tons of money, right? So throughout the supply chain, it will require, let's say, if you want to do a financial loan, but what the problem is, you don't know who the diamond belongs to. How do you trace the diamond, right? But with Zhou Dafu, they actually have a laser inscription, a trademark for every piece of diamond that it carries. And that piece of diamond, the inscription, we're using blockchain technology to relay the kind of the owner and the diamond itself. So it doesn't matter how the diamond is kind of moving across a different supply chain, you will always know who is the rightful owner it is, right? As such, the bank can verify who the diamond belongs to, and therefore they can provide additional service, such as loan. It worth a lot of money. So along the way, you can provide kind of the trade finance for those diamonds based on the value of the diamond. And the other one is insurance, right? You want to make sure that the diamond is being insured in case of whatever happens in the supply chain, right? So we are literally the first offering in the world to offer insurance with diamond, and that was enabled by blockchain technology. Now, the second example I'm going to give is the travel insurance. And I think most of you literally are frequent traveler. Last year, I traveled over 1 million miles in the air. And along the way, you're getting into a lot of frustration, flight delay. It happened a lot. And most of us say, I should just buy the delay insurance, which is great. But then when it really happened, when you started to submit a claim, then the nightmare started to begin. Because the insurance company will require you to submit all documentations across, including your ticket, your flight record, and everything else, before they can prove that you are eligible for the flight delay insurance or not. But with blockchain, we can solve all that problem. So literally, the minute that you purchase the ticket, your record is in the system, and all the flight information is also in the system. You can all correlate it with all that information. And when it happens, if let's say, okay, well, if you meet this criteria, if you delay by, let's say, X number of hours, then you should be compensated by Y, and it can trigger a smart contract within the blockchain. So automatically, all piece of information is being verified without human intervention. And then, the settlement occur via the smart contract. So in this, everybody happy. Because the insurance company, they do not need to worry about to double check on authentication of the information. The customer is happy because they don't have to collect all the information that you require, right? So this is one example that a simple solution and can actually solve a lot of pain in the process for using blockchain and cloud. And the last example, which is related to what we talked about today, is the trade finance, especially cross-border trade finance. So everybody in this trade finance understand the difficulty of making it happen. Because when a good is shipping across the border, along the way, the ownership for the good changed several times. And when that happens, it makes it almost impossible for you to providing a finance for that particular trade, because when the owner change, you no longer you kind of lose your collateral for that, right? Now, blockchain surprise or not, solve that problem. So in the blockchain, it can carry on to the stage. So in Hong Kong today, this is actually administered by the Hong Kong MA. They're the one that champion this trade finance platform. So what had happened is now there's about 20 plus banks in Hong Kong participate in this platform. So when a group is, let's say, is shipped from Hong Kong to mainland China, obviously it's going to change hand when it crosses the border, clear the custom. So when the good is still in Hong Kong, the good is being insured and is also being financed by the bank in Hong Kong. As soon as it crosses the border, it triggered a smart contract again. So it triggered the ownership change, and therefore the contract is switched over, supported by a bank in China in that regard. And then the bank in China, they can charge a different interest rate, they can provide a different insurance policy according to the smart contract, and then seamlessly, as the group is passing from one point of the border into the next border, everything just changed, right? No, you don't need any additional paperwork or anything in order to make things, any better for them, right? So that system is going to go live probably in the beginning of October, and this is the first real trade finance platform in the world. And in the meantime, right now, Singapore is actively trying to participate in this. So it's Japan, Russia, and hopefully next is Canada. If every major trading company is joining this platform, then you can really imagine a kind of a global trade finance platform can happen. And with that, you can really enable and kind of promote kind of the cross-border trade finance on that. Okay, so with that, I thank you for your time.